Good
Good
afternoon.
morning. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I see Naomi's off a little bit in the weather today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just for the day. She'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so she had to get a replacement, one of her best.
Aw, that's nice. Thank you.
Yeah. So I see you had a good discussion. Well, you got the talent of the music. You know the music legends, and definitely can connect our history and our culture intertwined very well, and because they're part of who we are, and actually it's the sash thread that runs through us that makes us who we are based on our culture. So let me start off by saying congratulations to Paul Trudeau and his continued growth of his taxi business out in Steinbach, down to 5 cars, I think he says now, and he employs a certain group of citizens, and I'm very proud to see his growth from 1 to 5, and so it's good to see a little town of Steinbach is bringing enough business and obviously to keep his growth continuing, and it's hard. And I know when you look at Toronto and other big cities, taxi businesses have gotten a beating from Uber. I'm not sure. I've never analyzed what Uber has done to the taxi business in Winnipeg, but I know they really have crippled a lot of the taxi businesses in bigger major cities. So Uber is a big threat in the context, and that's all basically individuals with their vehicles. So taxis do have a challenging time and trying to keep up with that tough market. But again, obviously Trudeau is doing something very well and succeeding. So again, we're very pleased with the Federation to help him and growing and developing his company. And there's more like that. There's 800 businesses that we have with the Federation today across our province, and all of them playing a very pivotal role in every sectorial field of the employment sector. So whether it's construction, whether it's sales, whether it's in businesses, whether it's in consulting, there's all kind of, whether it's even in music, there's all kind of Métis today that are entrepreneurially spreading their expertise everywhere. So I'm very proud of that. So let's not forget, just in case you decide you're going to try to sleep in, you got to move your clock tomorrow 1 hour ahead. You're going to lose an hour of sleep. So be prepared. That's coming. And so it means you got to get up a little bit tired tomorrow, Ollie. No, it's not Monday.
Oh,
Monday.
no.
I think the direct daily saving time begins at 2 a.m. Today, right tonight.
Okay, I'll prepare.
No, it's Sunday. Sunday. Do it on Sunday. So
Okay.
it means you got to get an hour up earlier.
Okay,
than
now
you
go to bed
traditionally be
earlier.
sleeping in. So the sun will be much higher when you wake up now. It won't be at the edge of the trees. It'll be above the trees.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So also, I heard you talk about International Women's Day. It's a very important time and again for us, it's an easy time because our women are our backbone, our matriarchal society. We all know where our moms are in our world, and women play such a pivotal role in keeping our nation together and giving us the guidance we need to move forward and some of the priorities. And I know Anita, for example, has done a tremendous job as the spokeswoman of the Métis, and she's actually finally going on a holiday. She's going for a week.
Oh, good.
Very pleased to see that. She's been off and on health-wise, been getting colds and overworked, and so I'm very, very proud. I'm very happy she's going for a week holiday with her husband.
Oh, good.
And I hope she enjoys herself, gets some rest. And I know she's already talking about taking her laptop, and I need to be knowing what's going on. And I'm the same way. Anyways, I shouldn't criticize, but I have to be so nosy at what's going on. I always want to, no matter where I am, I want what's going on at the Federation. So, but I hope she shuts it off for a while, and her and her husband have some relaxing time. And I wish them well. But we have birthdays also. Let me talk about some of the birthdays. I got a happy 47th birthday going out to Tanya Vincent. That's from the President's office. She's celebrating her birthday on Monday, March 10th. 47-year-old Tanya. So happy birthday, Tanya. Happy 28th birthday is going to Taylor LeClaire Fleming. That's PJ, of course, his daughter. And she actually brought her new baby to the Federation the other day. And I had a chance to carry him for a little while. And it's good to see him. He ended up falling asleep. And the cat was carrying him in my office, and he started crying right away. So we had to rip him off Cat's arms and get some confidence in him that it's okay. I hope Cat's listening. Anyways, it was great for Taylor to bring her new Métis baby. One day he might be the leader.
Yeah.
One day he might be the president. So But her birthday's on Tuesday, March 11th. She'll be turning 28 years old, and she's a first-time mama. And I can't say PJ, of course, our Minister of Natural Resources. You can't say how proud he is as a grandpa, and of course his wife and grandma. And they really are going to spoil this baby rotten, I can tell. So his name is Meyer, M-E-Y-E-R. I think I'm saying it right. Baby Mayer came to visit me, and I will look forward to his next visit next round. Also, happy birthday is going out to Robert Janai, and his nickname is actually German. Don't ask me why. Okay. I don't know. It's my brother-in-law. Everybody calls him German, and has been carrying that name for decades and decades. So somebody must have just said, you're German, and then it stuck on. He's had that name ever since. So, but he's turning 79, and so I'm very, very, very happy for him. He just came out of the hospital. He actually now is into dialysis, which is, it's my sister's husband, and she had passed some time ago already. And so he was in the hospital, and he was very, very sick. And but he's back now at his daughter's house, and but 79, but he has to take dialysis 3 times a week. And we know so many Indigenous people are in that world today, where dialysis is what's keeping them still in this world. So again, but I'm very happy that he's home. I also want to say a special big congratulations to my sister Rita.
Okay.
As you know, Al's always been calling in Métis hour, but she rang her cancer remission bell on January 29th. So I want to Al Spence had called in usually. That's her husband, and but she rang her. She had cancer and she had her breast removed and everything, and so of course there's a lot of worry in our family what was going to happen, and. But she rang her bell on January 28th. She's now in remission, and the cancer is gone.
Hallelujah.
So I know, hallelujah, man. I'm very, very proud of that. And I keep on forgetting I was going to mention it because so many people would send well wishes to her and so forth. So I keep on forgetting to congratulate her. So I want to make sure I hope she's listening today and say again, congratulations. Also, just a quick update. We have our cabinet coming up on a meeting on March 27th, 28th in Winnipeg. So looking forward to that and planning that event. Southeast is having their regional meeting. Well, I'll start off with the Interlake. Interlake's having theirs regional meeting on March 16 in Stonewall. So if anybody wants to come by and pop by, I should be there. And, of course, the executive of that region will be there. So I look forward to their report and updates that are happening in the Interlake region. Southeast is having theirs, your territory, March 29, Lac de Bonnie, at the community center. So I'm looking forward to actually people attending that and listening. I might be away on the March 29. I'm not sure, but somebody will be representing me if I'm not there. So, but I'm sure Denise and her team will be looking forward to giving updates on what's happening in the Southeast region. It's a very active region, and they've actually done so much initiatives in the last while. It would be good to see their update for people to hear and see what's going on. But some other matters are, of course, hitting the news. And that, first, let me deal with what had happened in Child and Family Services. Unfortunately, the authority and the board agencies had to shut down the prevention care program. And, I just can't believe that right now the purpose of shutting down the prevention care side is because both governments, provincial and federal, are fighting over who's the jurisdiction responsible. It is unbelievable that they couldn't solve this for over a year now, and they're blaming each other who's responsible. I was not very pleased. I hope Annie's listened to me. I hope she made a misquote. I hope she corrects it. That this layoff was sort of like a bargaining process because there's negotiations right now with the union, and this has never been a bargaining chip of any capacity by the authority or by the federation. I want to make that very clear to Naomi. I don't know why she said that. I hope she retracts her comments because I will ask her personally when I see her. Like, why would you say something like that when it's not true? You'll know the issue. The issue is very clear. The prevention services has never been a priority for any provincial government. They've always slipped away from that. What they've always been, and since the inception of Child and Family, has been the apprehension where they take children. But what they don't do is they don't plan for the children. They don't plan the future. They don't plan helping the family. They never planned to strengthen the family so the child can have a place to return home back to its own culture and family and own community. So that's been always the weak point of Child and Family Services since it was created. And so we had been fortunate to establish programs in shelters. There's 6 of them that are going to be shutting down by April 30th. One is going to shut down in June, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But right now, the prevention program, every expert has said that's the way to go. That's where you need to go. We've been saying that since we negotiated this in 2000, the transfer of child and family. The First Nation have been saying the same thing as we have. Prevention has to be the priority, not apprehension. So, because apprehension will always be apprehension, and you'll always be taking children, but if you don't have a plan for them, that means you're going to be responsible for them, and they're never going to be home. They're never going to go home because their home is not strong enough or broken or has issues.
Right.
So when they turn of age, we still keep these children because they turn 18, 19, 20, they're still in our shelters. We keep them because they have no family to go home right now because their family's still broken.
Right.
Otherwise, they'd never be in Child and Family Services. So really what's upsetting to us is that even the union, I'll speak on the union shortly, but when you look at what is taking place between the federal government and the provincial government, you heard us talk about Bill 29, which was legislated in Canada, got royal assent in 2020. That's now law. And Bill 29 is where the transfer of the authority of prevention services would be given to Indigenous governments to manage their own affairs and manage it culturally appropriate to their desires and needs, to their families. So that was what Bill 29 was all about. Big fanfare by Canada, but a Trudeau government saying that Bill 29 is going to change and solve many of the unfortunate situations we find ourselves where children are never allowed to go home or cannot go to a broken home, and we're going to help fix that. So that was something very important. We all applauded it, and it got passed. Quebec challenged it, if some of you remember that. Quebec challenged it, saying that the jurisdictional transfer to Indigenous governments, basically, it was our principal look at it. It was not right and not legally standing. And the Canada won this argument in court, which we supported it, saying that Quebec is wrong. As Indigenous governments, we have the right to take care of our own families and children and the right to create the prevention programs that are necessary for us. So Canada, at no time did Canada ever say the provincial government, in fact, this is what Canada said, at no time did Canada ever say that Bill C-92 was set in a way, that's Canada's legislation, which is law now, it's in the law. No time did they say the province had to put half or more money into the program. Never. Actually, it was designed to go with or without a province. So that was the premise of what was given to the fanfare for every Canadian to hear and see. Okay. And we, as I said, applauded it openly because it was the right thing to do, the right approach. And we finished negotiating last year the document, the agreement, the partnership with Canada. Then all of a sudden, Canada came from nowhere and told the province, you have to give half or more money towards this initiative, which is not ever was that ever used in the passing of legislation, because I assure you, if that was argued by Canada, premiers and across this country, you would have seen family service ministers all standing up and saying, wait a second, that's not, you can do what you want, but you can't force us into the situation without our consent and our agreement. So when you look at it, that's really a backstabbing approach by Canada, which I do not like. I made it very clear. We wrote a letter to Patty Aiju, the minister of family of this program of Bill C-92. So when you look at it here, I'm just so disappointed in the minister, so disappointed in the Trudeau government for doing this. And we're not finished with them. We'll probably end up suing them. Maybe the province will step in with a lawsuit too, because it's not right. But it shouldn't stop the province from doing something now. They know that these prevention programs are essential. They know they save the day. They know that they work. We don't want to see our young people in the streets, homeless. Right. We don't want to see them. They're not ready yet. They've been under our watch for so many years. They don't have a family to go to. So the family's still broken until it's healed. And so we have these programs that are strengthening these children that became adults and getting them ready for the real world, getting them ready to go to school, getting them ready to be trained, get them to job, get them to learn how to live alone.
Right.
That's why we build these apartments on Edison. So these programs are now all being cut because the province won't give us the funding to maintain them. It only costs the province about $8 million a year. That's nothing compared to the size of their budgets. And people sound like $8 million is a lot. It's not. And so, but it would save the future for these children, save lives, and save protection of children. So I'm like I said, my disappointment is so openly stated already that the provincial government and the federal government are fighting on jurisdictional who has to pay more now, who should be paying what, when that was never the deal that we set in partnership with the province or federal Canada. So, like I said, it's clearly an embarrassing time for Canada, for the minister to put herself and put her party in that position. I'm waiting for the conclusion of the election, as Cowboy's been talking about. The election will happen where a new prime minister will come into play, and all projections say it's going to be Carney. It looks like Carney will win. I assure you, I already have a call out to him. I want to speak to him immediately regarding Bill C-29. 92, I'm sorry, not 29, 92. I want to talk to him saying, like, what the hell is your government doing here?
Right.
You need to correct this now. You need to either remove Patty Aiju or tell her you better sign this agreement. You promised this to the Métis. You promised this to Canada. You promised this would be the way we'd save children and we protect children. So now, how dare you not sign it? So that's something I'm working on right now.
Okay.
And also, I know that there's a lot of people that are being hurt here. A lot of staff are being told that we can't keep them at this point in time, and because the funding is gone. So, from our perspective, I don't have $8 million somewhere that I can just throw in there. And even if I did, it won't be temporary. I need a program that's continuing, not only 1 year. So it's got to be a continued program, so that employees have a job towards the future, not just to save their jobs for 6 months.
Right.
It's not going to really solve their problem. So we need to make sure that this program is here. We will eventually get 92. There's not a question we will get it. But most of these staff are trained and skilled. Now we'll lose them. They'll go work somewhere else to get other jobs. So what we're doing right now, I've asked the Minister of Finance and HR to look at all of our programs. I spoke to Francis Chartrand, who's the Minister of Child Care. Our child care centers are opening, of course, as you know, across Manitoba everywhere. We have, I think, 8 or 9 built in so far, and we're going to open 16 child care centers. They usually employ about 20 to 40, depending on the size of the child care center. So we're going to see if we can transfer some of these employees there. But what really upset me, I seen the union and their response. And here's what's so puzzling about the union, because everybody's heard the number 11.4 million. That was in the Free Press. That was a mistake by the writer. And again, it was, my view, not clarified right by Minister Fontaine, because what she said, there is $11.4 million of new funding going out, but that's not coming to us. We're getting $2.4 million. And all that $2.4 million that's coming is to raise the salaries of the other child care workers, which is 300 of them, to raise them to meet the numbers of wage scales that the non-Indigenous child family services receive. So that's how far we are behind all the work. Our staff, the other 300 employees we have, they're earning salaries at the 2017 level.
Oh, that's terrible.
So yes, that's how far behind they are with the non-Indigenous agency, because the province runs the General Authority Agency, and their salaries are way up there compared to ours. Yet, same skill, same degrees, same responsibility, but our people don't have that funding. So I do commend the NDP government here in Nahanni for finding some of that money to bring up the wage salaries to be not equal, to bring them up at least to the 2023 level, I believe.
Good.
So we're still behind the General Authority, but at least it brings them up. But then I read the union article where the union saying, first they should have checked their facts, that the Métis are getting these millions and millions of dollars, thinking we're getting $11 million. Of course, if I had $11 million, I guarantee not a person would be laid off. In fact, we'd hire more. So that's not our money. It's going to First Nation agencies, and it's going to possibly, there's 2 new agencies that the province is opening up, Weway-Sikapo and Long Plain. They're getting their own child and family service agencies. So they're opening up those, and I'm sure that's part of the rest of the $9 million where that's going. So when you look at it overall, there was a clear misuse of the word 11 million. Who's getting it? It's not the MMF. I tell you that. It's not our Child and Family Services.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, there's a lot of people are getting upset saying, well, how come you're laying them off? You got $11 million. We don't. If I had $11 million, not a soul would be laid off. And we actually bring up the salaries to a proper level for all of them. And because our salaries why is our salaries less than non-Indigenous agencies? It's not right.
Right.
So that's clearly an issue, and we're still going to continue to fight with the province. And let's not forget the province under Pallister. We took them to court. We won that $4 million or $40 million settlement, and because they took the child and family allowance money away from the kids and used that to run the agency. The NDP government has not changed it yet. We're still doing the same. The $57 million that Naomi talks about is to run the agencies on their policies, not ours. That's their policy. We have to apprehend children, and they have to pay for that. There's maintenance fees, etc. So that $57 million, $5 to $7 million of that is actually child allowance money that they're forcing us to spend through the Pallister time on single window or block funding. But the NDP government has not switched that and put an additional money and leave the child allowance money alone for the kids. And when they grow up one day, that money will be waiting for them. So when you look at it from that standpoint, NDP are still far behind with this. They have to correct this. They said they would when they're in opposition. So I'm going to be pushing very hard for them to correct that and give the kids back their child allowance money. We actually filed a lawsuit against the province on that. We're fighting for our child allowance money for the kids so we can put it in the bank and let them have it when they leave of age or have turned of age already. Good. So that's under works right now. The lawsuit's been filed. But now let me talk about the president, Kyle Ross. And NGA unions, apparently I almost got charged once many, many moons ago when they first convinced the child family service agencies we have to go into a union. They're the only department in the entire federation that's under a union. And so they went there, and this Kyle Ross now said something very unusual. He's the president. Now he's saying in their own article that they're sending to their members, meaning the child family services employees. This is important to talk about because this shows you how people can turn things in a context which is not accurate. What this president's saying, and let me say this: if this is the position, I will support it 100%. But he's saying that the money we're getting, the $2.4 million to raise the salaries from 2017 to 23 to match, at least get close to the non-Indigenous agency, which we've been fighting for years. And we finally got the province to give us additional $2.4 million to bring up their salaries. But now he's saying that money should be used to keep some of the staff that are being laid off and keep them operating. I agree with you 100%, Kyle, if that's the decision that union has made. But then you better not tell me you're going on strike because we can't raise the salaries of the other staff. You can't have it both ways.
Exactly.
The money that the $2.4 million is to raise the salaries of the other 300 staff up to a level equaling the other agencies, the non-Indigenous ones, that are paying their employees better salaries than we can pay ours. So we finally got some money to do that. And now he's saying, no, use it to keep the employees. I will do it in a heartbeat if that's what the union changes their... Because right now they're still threatening strike on us, on the 300 employees, to make sure that their salaries are higher. And we're saying, look, all we got is $2.4 million. It will bring your salaries up. Trust me, it will. But it definitely will not meet yet the non-Indigenous ones. So we're not there yet. We'll keep on fighting with the province. Yeah. But if they're saying, stop, don't give the raises to the staff, use that to keep that the other staff, some of them, because it costs $8 million. That's how much the layoffs will turn to a cost of operations, about 8-point-something million. So at least it'll keep one quarter of them still in operation, if that's the case. But then on the other sentence, a paragraph later, he says, we have to raise the salaries for all the employees. Well, wait a second. There's only $2.4 million here. So you can't have it both ways. So either you're trying to bullshit to your members and say, look, I'm fighting for you to keep your jobs. I'm even saying, let's use the millions. But on the other paragraph, I'm saying, we have to raise the salaries for the rest of them. Well, you can't have it both ways. All we got is 2.4 million at this point in time from the province. So don't mislead your members. Don't mislead the public. Don't mislead the agencies that you're there to defend them, but you're misusing the possibility of what 2.4 million can be spent on. So it just shows you again how call it what it is. Don't start making bullshit stories and acting like you're doing both at the same time. And so again, as I said, this has nothing to do with a bargaining chip. We're not using this to scare our employees. I am doing everything in my power to find ways to keep some of the employees still in action. I'm still trying to find ways if we can find some money here and there to keep some of the prevention services alive. We have to. That means MMF is going to have to find ways to find money to do that. So when you look at it overall, it's unbelievable that they're playing politics and playing tactics when you're talking about people's jobs, people's lives. It's not like I care for the children 100%. Everybody knows me. I'm a big defender of that. But when you start looking at it, these employees also have families. They got children. Some of them probably have mortgage payments. Some of them probably have car payments, or they still got to live. They still got to work. So I'm worried about them too, not just the children. I'm worried about the employees that are going to lose all their jobs. I know some of them are casual and some of them are term. They're not full-time, but some of them are full-time. So safety is a big issue here. At the end, there's going to be more responsibility for the remaining 300 staff. That means they're going to have more pressure put on them, the frontline workers. So this is a big, serious issue. And as I said, I'm already reaching out to Carney, if he's the new leader. I want our money for our Bill C-92. And let me tell you what that money is. It's going to be their numbers, not my numbers, their number system. It would come up to about $1.3 billion in 5 years. That's what the value of this 92 is for us as the Métis of the Manitoba. So it's a big number, massive number. It'll make such a big difference to so many families. So I only got a minute here. I want to say again, that was the issue that's driving me right now, and trying to find solutions and try to correct Naomi and the President Ross, who's misleading their own people. And more importantly, I had a good meeting with the Premier on the tariff. We have more discussions coming up. Look at our website. We'll be putting information up there. Okay. We're going to continue to meet with the Premier and all the businesses in Manitoba. There is a plan coming out from our government. As you know, the tariff has been set aside for another month. But it's going to impact us. Trust me, it's going to impact every family in this province. Whether you're Métis or not, you're going to be impacted. First Nation, you're going to be impacted. Something is going to impact all of us. So we need to figure out how we all work together. I had a chance to meet the new Grand Chief there. We had Kyra and I had a good discussion, and Mr. Métis was there. And so I'll keep you posted. I'll give you a report on that next Saturday. Okay. And with that, I'll say goodbye, because I usually try to go with 30 minutes only. And I understand you're going to be playing a song that Fifi asked for her mom. So I look forward to that song. I like her song, by the way.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And so play it, and then again, keep up the good work, Holly, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. Again, to the elders, thank you for your guidance. And to our youth, see the challenges we face as a government. There's a lot of responsibilities here. Get your schooling, get educated, because one day you might be the president. That's to try to solve all these problems. So I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. Thank
you so much, and thank you for clarifying all of that, the talks that are going on with the Child and Family Services. We really appreciate that information, Dave, because it simplifies it for us, what is actually going on and the truth. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. And I could back up everything I said. Always know that. We know that. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.